Kawangmat, in this video, we will focus on the data gathering. So what are those sampling techniques? What is the method? Is it direct and indirect? Is it qualitative and quantitative? And the levels of measurement. So in this video, we will be discussing the methods, the techniques, and how do we gather the statistical data. So before we proceed, don't forget to like our video and subscribe na rin po kayo. Thank you! So let us define what is a population. So the population is the entire collection of people, animals, objects, procedure, measurements, and events that fit in the purpose of your study. So pag sinabi natin population, so meron po tayong mga set po na po gagamitin po natin. Okay? So it is the universe. Okay? I mean, the universal set. Okay? Yung kabuuan. So in this figure or in this illustration, so this is considered as your population. So let's say this is your population. Now, in collecting data from your population, it takes a lot of effort. Okay? Why? Because aside of impracticality due to a large number of data to consider, so kapag marami po tayong gagamitin as our respondents, so yun nga po yun, yung population, large number po ng data ang i-consider din po natin doon. So, anong result nun? It also takes time and time-consuming po siya at the same time costly. Okay? Magastos po. Bakit? Kasi ang dami po ng respondents natin. So, ano pong gagawin natin? Out of the given population, kukuha po tayo ng sample. Okay? So, from the given population, yung kabuuan, yung universal set mo, kukuha po tayo ng sample dito. So, kukuha lang po tayo ng portion. At yun po yung tinatawag nating sample. Ano ba itong sample? So, it is a part or portion of the given population. So, kanina, yung pinakita natin na kabuuan or the universal set. So, therefore, sample is a subset. Okay? Kukuha lang tayo ng portion o part ng population. So, hindi natin gagamitin lahat. Kasi nga, sabi nga natin, pag ginamit natin yung buong population, mas magastos, mas mahaba yung time na kakainin natin. So, we will just get a sample or part of the population. So, why do we need to get a sample of the population? In this way, you will save effort, time, and resources in conducting your study. So, makakasave ka na ng effort, ng time. Aside from that, mas mababa ang gagastusin natin. And then another, it will not just save your time and effort, but also the money that you will spend in running the study. So, ito talaga yon, okay? So, makakaptipid din po tayo since mas maliit po yung ating respondents, mas mababa po yung ating cost. Okay? Now, the question is, how will I select? How are you going to select your sample? Kung sino bang gusto natin, yun ang kukunin natin. So, yan ang iisa-isahin natin dahil meron tayong tinatawag na sampling techniques. So, ano ba itong mga sampling techniques? Meron tayong dalawang klase ng sampling techniques. We have the probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. So, meron tayong dalawang klase ng sampling techniques na kung saan ito yung mga paraan ng pagkuha natin ng sample. So, ito po yung iisa-isahin natin. So, let's have first the probability sampling. So, under probability sampling, we have 4. We have the random sampling, the systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and the cluster sampling. So, iisa-isahin po natin yan mamaya. And then, under non-probability sampling, so these are some. Okay? Kasi pag sinabi natin sampling, ito yung marami. Okay? Pero itong ipapakita ko at i-discuss natin dito, ito yung most commonly used. So, ano-ano ba yon? We have the convenience sampling, the purposive sampling, the quota sampling, and the snowball sampling. So, ito po yung most commonly used. But hindi ko kayo nililimit dito sa apat na to. Marami po tayong non-probability sampling na pwede natin gamitin to select our respondents or sample. So, let us start. So, under the probability sampling, meron tayong 4. Okay? So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng probability sampling? Since we have 2 categories of sampling techniques, the probability and the non-probability sampling. Pag sinabi nating probability sampling, all members of the population. Kasi, ito yung way natin ng pagkuha ng sample, di ba? So, paano natin kukunin yung sample natin from the given population? So, lahat daw po ng nasa population have equal chances of being chosen as part of the sample. So, lahat ng nasa population, lahat sila may chance na maging part ng sample. Okay? So, isa-isayin natin. So, we have the random sampling. When we say random sampling, these are the members of your sample are selected through lottery. So, ito yung minsan, ito yung way ni teacher kapag magpapa-recitation. So, di ba, minsan, dyan kayo kinakabahan kapag may hawak na si teacher na index card, tapos pipili siya, isa-shuffle niya yon. So, that is an example of random sampling. Another way is, naglalagay siya ng number dun sa bowl. So, yung number na yon ay meron kayong tigi-isang number. So, tas bubunot siya. Yun yung tinatawag natin draw lots. O minsan naman names yung nandoon, bubunot siya. That is another example of random sampling. So, this is one way of selecting your sample. Okay? So, where the members of your sample are selected through lottery. So, draw lots. Yun po yung, so kagaya nito, meron tayong 12 na bilang sa ating population. So, pipili lang ako kung sino mabunot. Okay? So, yun po yung random sampling. Hindi natin alam kung sino. Okay? Another type of probability sampling is the systematic sampling. Ano naman ito? So, kapag gagamit tayo ng systematic sampling, it is very important, ito kasi yung ang pag-select niya ay yung members ng population are written in a list systematically with corresponding numbers. So, as you can see, corresponding numbers. So, importante po dito, ibig sabihin, meron pa tayong computation dito. Okay? Pero madali lang naman. So, paano natin ginagawa itong systematic sampling kung ito ang gusto mong gamitin? So, make sure na kapag magkakonduct tayo ng study o bago tayo magsimula, alam nyo yung bilang ng respondents na gagamitin nyo sa study nyo. So, kagaya nito, ito, 4 ang respondents na kukunin niya. So, bumunot siya, nag-draw lots siya. So, 4, nakuha niya. Random sampling yon. Ngayon, halimbawa, meron kang 10 dun sa iyong population at ang kailangan mo lang ay 5. So, paano mo kukunin yung respondents mo kung ang gagamitin mo ay systematic sampling? So, kung 10 ang nasa population mo, and then 5 lang ang kailangan mo, i-divide po natin yon. Yun po ang paraan ng systematic sampling. So, 10 divided by yung kailangan mo na bilang ng respondents. So, 10 divided by 5, that is 2. So, ibig sabihin, magsisimula ka dun sa pangalawa. And then, ano susunod? Paano mo malalaman yung susunod na respondents mo? By multiples of 2. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So, silang 5 ang magiging respondents mo ngayon o sample. Okay? So, halimbawa, 15 naman yung iyong population. And then, kailangan mo ng 5 respondents. Okay? So, 15 divide 5 is 3. So, ang kukunin mo yung pang 3rd, 6th, 9th, yung pang 12, at pang 15. Okay? Okay, so yun po yung ibig sabihin ng systematic sampling. Nakaayos siya. Okay, so hindi tayo basta pipili lang. So kung depende po yan sa number of population, bilang ng population mo, sa number ng respondents na kailangan mo. And then we also have the stratified sampling. So under stratified sampling, ang members mo dito ay nakagroup. Okay, so yung members of the population are group. So, you can choose equal number of respondents in each group or in proportion to the number of elements in each group. So, ito yung halimbawang population natin. Okay? So, yung population natin, halimbawa ito, sa bawat grupo daw po, kailangan kumuha ka ng equal number of respondents. So, as you can see, meron ako ditong 4 na grupo. So, kung sa first group, kumuha ka ng 2, dapat dun sa second group, third at fourth group, kukuha ka rin ng tagdadalawa. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng stratified sampling. From the given set of groups, kukuha po tayo ng equal number of respondents. So, kagaya nito, kumuha siya ng tigi-isa. Okay? So, halimbawa naman, meron kang gustong gawin na study sa NCR. So, ang NCR, maraming cities. So, yung mga group natin is yung Manila, yun ang i-consider natin na group. Ngayon, pag sinabing stratified sampling, sa Manila kukuha ka ng 100 na respondents. Sa Marikina kukuha ka ng 100 na respondents. So, lahat ng cities ng NCR kukunan mo ng tigwa 100. Okay? So, yun po yung example ng stratified sampling. And then, minsan ginagawa rin to sa school. Yung kapag yung bibigyan ng mga halimbawa, yung bibigyan ng educational assistance, minsan ganon. So, pipili ng bata, halimbawa, ang kailangan lang ay 20. Tapos, merong 20 section sa grade 7. So, dun sa bawat section, kukuha ng tigi-isa. So, equal number. So, hindi pwedeng sa section 1, dalawang kukunin. Ganon. So, yun po yung stratified. Kukuha ka ng bilang ng respondents equally from the different groups. And then, we also have the cluster sampling. So, actually, cluster sampling is the same as the stratified sampling. Naka-group din po ito. So, members of your population are group. Yun nga lang, ang difference niya, ang pinagkaiba niya sa stratified, kung ito naka-group at kung ang stratified, 'di ba, naka-group siya, halimbawa, 5 grupo, kukuha ka ng pare-parehong bilang ng respondents. Kuha ka ng isa dito, isa doon, isa. Yun ang stratified. Pero kapag cluster, by group po ang pagkuha nito. So, halimbawa ito, meron akong 5 groups. So, itong buong grupo na to, kukunin ko sila. Itong buong grupo na to, lahat ng members niyan, kukunin ko. Tapos, merong mga grupo na hindi ko kukunin. So, dito, as a group ang pagkuha naman ng respondents. So, yun po ang difference niya sa stratified. Pag stratified, lahat ng group kukunan mo ng equal number of respondents. Pag cluster sampling naman, kaya nga cluster, ibig sabihin group. So, pag cluster naman, by group po ang pagkuha. So, merong grupo na hindi mo kukunin. So, these are the 4 probability sampling. We have the random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and cluster sampling. Now, let's talk about the non-probability sampling. Kung yung probability sampling ay lahat ng nasa population mo ay may equal chances of being chosen as part of the sample, ito naman po, lahat ng members ng population nito do not have equal chances of being chosen as part of the sample. So, dito naman, hindi lahat may chance na mapili as part of the sample. So, ano-ano ba yon? So, again, ito po yung 4 na commonly used sa non-probability sampling kasi marami pa pong klase ng non-probability sampling. So, i-discuss lang po natin dito yung madalas ginagamit. So, under non-probability sampling, we have the convenience sampling. So, yung convenience sampling, ano ba ito? These are samples selected because of their immediate availability. So, halimbawa, hindi ba minsan kapag kumakain tayo sa mga restaurant or food chain, diba minsan merong survey na checkan natin doon. So, tayo, hindi natin namamalayan, ginagamit tayo as respondents po nung survey na ginagamit nila. Now, bakit tayo ang pinili? Kasi tayo yung available. Tayo yung nandun. Okay? Tayo yung pwedeng sumagot no na malapit. Since nandun naman tayo sa food chain na yon, so kinuha na nila tayo dahil tayo ang malapit. Okay? So, kagaya po nito, meron ditong 12. I mean 11 lang pala kasi yung isa, this is the researcher, ikaw ito. Tapos meron dito, so meron tayong 11 dito na nasa population. So, ang kinuha niya ay yung malapit sa kanya. Ito po. Okay? So, meron siyang nakuhang 5. Okay, so yun po yung convenience sampling. Kaya nga tinawag na convenience kasi convenient, malapit sa'yo, madali. Okay? And then we also have the purposive sampling from the word purpose. Okay? Meron kang parang dahilan, okay, kung bakit sila ang kinuha mo. meron kang target. Okay? So, merong dahilan bakit sila ang kukunin mo, may target ka. So, ang tawag po natin doon ay purposive sampling. So, ito yung mga samples are determined by the researcher based on the purpose of the study. So, halimbawa, gustong malaman yung mga benefits na nakukuha ng mga senior citizens. Halimbawa, ganon. So, ikaw ba't ang tatanungin mo ay yung teenager? Siyempre, hindi. Okay? So, pipiliin mo lang yung target mo. Kasi may purpose ka. Gusto mong malaman kung ano yung benefits na natatanggap o kung ano ba sila, satisfied ba sila, kung yun ang gusto mong malaman, satisfied ba sila sa benefits na natatanggap ng mga senior citizens. So, ang target mo dun is dapat senior citizens. Huwag po tayong kukuha ng teenager or hindi, 59 and below ang age. Okay? So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng purposive sampling. Meron po tayong target na respondents. And then, we also have quota sampling under non-probability. So, pag sinabi natin quota, okay, ibig sabihin meron tayong goal dyan eh. Meron tayong dapat ma-reach. Okay? So, the samples here are selected to achieve the needed number of participants in the study. So, halimbawa, nakuha mo na to, titigil ka na. Okay? So, halimbawa, meron kang gustong malaman sa kung ano man yung gusto, kung ano man yung study mo. So, kukuha ka ng mga respondents hanggang sa lahat meron kang pasasagutan. Now, pag na-reach mo na yung bilang, kaya nga siya tinawag na quota. Pag na-reach mo na yung bilang, tigil ka na. Okay? And then, we also have the snowball sampling. So, ano ba itong snowball sampling? So, pag sinabing snowball sampling, the samples are selected based on the recommendation of other members in the sample. So, kung ikaw si researcher, ikaw yung nagsa-study, ikaw yung nag-aaral, may pinag-aaralan, so, ang gagawin mo muna, meron ka munang kukunin na dalawa. Okay? Dalawang expert. Sabihin nating expert na pwede mong magamit para makapag-gather ka ng data. Okay? Pwede mong gamitin as respondent. So, from here, halimbawa, hindi ka pa satisfied dun sa data na nakuha mo o nakulangan ka. So, pwede mo silang tanungin kung sino yung pwede niyang i-recommend sa'yo na kung saan makakatulong dun sa study mo. So, halimbawa ito, meron kang kinausap na dalawa, so siya, nag-recommend siya na, ito kasi makakatulong to sa study mo. So, nag-recommend siya. And then, ganun din siya nag-recommend. Ngayon, hindi ka pa rin satisfied or kulang pa. So, sila naman, nag-recommend din sila ng mga kilala nilang makakatulong dun sa study mo. So, yun po yung tinatawag nating snowball sampling. So, the samples are selected based on the recommendation of other members in the sample. So, again, we have this 4 non-probability sampling, the convenience sampling, purposive sampling, quota sampling, and the snowball sampling. Let's try. Identify which item in each column is the population and the sample. So, write P if it's a population and S if it's just a sample. So, number 1, so, ibig sabihin kung yung isa P, automatic yung isa S kasi population and sample. So, number 1, I have NCR and Manila. So, which one is the population? So, the population is NCR and the sample is Manila. Number 2, so we have here the tablespoon of sugar and then a jar of sugar. So, kung ano yung mas malaki, yun po lagi yung population. Okay? Kung ano yung portion lang, that is always the sample. So, since mas malaki ito, so this is the population. And then, this is your sample. Next, we have here academic track students and then we have here STEM students. So, this is your sample, this is your population. Juice in a glass, juice in a pitcher. So, from pitcher to glass. So, ibig sabihin, this is your population, this is your sample. So, by the way, this is just representations of population and sample. And then, all manufactured cellular phones and then model units of cellular phone. So, all manufactured, this is your population, and then this is your sample. Let's have this one. Identify the probability sampling used in each item. So, the online reseller writes all her loyal customers in a sheet of paper and draws 20 customers. So, from the word draws, okay? Ibig sabihin, nag-draw lot siya, bumunot siya ng 20. So, ibig sabihin, kahit sino. So, that is random sampling. Next, the coordinator selects 3 students in each grade level. So, sa bawat grade level, so ito yung i-consider natin as a group. So, sa bawat group, kumuha siya ng equal number of students, tigta 3. So, ano po ang tawag natin dito? This is stratified. Next, a radio program staff member answers every 50th. So, ito yung meron siyang parang multiples. Okay? So, kada 50th caller, so 50th, yung pang 100, yung pang 150, yun yung kinuha niya. And that is systematic sampling. The teacher picks students in a stack of index cards on which their names are written. So, ito yung sinabi ko kanina na example na hindi alam, kaya ang student kakabahan kasi hindi, kahit si teacher, hindi niya alam kung sino tatawagin niya. So, this is a random sampling. The local government unit chooses respondents only from barangays that are placed under hard lockdown. So, yung barangay dito, ito po yung representation ng group natin. So, sa lahat ng group, meron lang barangay na pinili para mag-hard lockdown. So, hindi lahat ng barangay. So, may pinili lang na grupo. So, ano yon? Medyo kahawig ng stratified. That is cluster. So, by group po ang pagpili. Next, identify the non-probability sampling used in each item. So, we have convenience, purposive, quota, and snowball. So, yun po yung pagpipilian natin. Asking 100 customers who are leaving the mall. So, ibig sabihin, this is convenience. So, kung sino yung available, kung sino yung malapit. So, convenience sampling po yun. Accepting blood donations from persons with AB blood type and asking them if they can also refer friends whom they know with the same blood type. So, kanina, recommendation. So, ito, merong i-refer. Yung parang, sino yung mga kakilala niya na pwede niyang sabihin sa'yo. Okay? So, that is snowball sampling. Selecting COVID-19 survivors as respondents in a survey because the study deals with the development of a new coronavirus vaccine. So, dito naman, ang kukunin mo lang ay yung mga COVID-19 survivors. So, meron kang target. Okay? So, that is purposive sampling. Posting an online survey and accepting only 300 responses. So, nagpa-survey ka, tapos nung nakuha mo na yung may sumagot na 300 responses, tumigil ka na. So, that is a quota sampling. And then, ask the first 20 customers to answer a survey in the next 5 days. So, dito naman, this is an example of quota sampling and convenience sampling. So, first 20 customers, kung sino yung dumating, kung sino yung available, that is convenience. And then, first 20, nung pag na-reach mo na yung 20, titigil ka na, that is quota sampling. So, dalawa po siya. Let's talk about the methods of data gathering. So, meron tayong mga methods na ginagamit kapag nag-gather po tayo ng data. We have two types of methods, the direct method and the indirect method. So, under direct method, it includes observation and interview where you get the information firsthand. So, dito, since makukuha mo yung information through interview and observation, ibig sabihin, nandoon ka, present ka. Okay? While indirect method is the opposite. So, it includes ways in which you can obtain the needed data without your actual presence. So, opposite po siya ng direct. Pag sinabing direct, nandun ka, ikaw mismo. Pag sinabing indirect, without your presence, makukuha mo yung data. So, the interview and observation dito, ito yung ibig sabihin, kailangan nandun ka, that is direct method. And then, ano yung mga example ng indirect method na kung saan makukuha mo yung kailangan mong data kahit wala ka. So, halimbawa, yung pinapagawa nila teacher na kapag may mga report na isasubmit, yung mga survey through Google Form, di ba? So, kahit wala si teacher, kahit hindi siya pumunta sa bahay mo, makukuha niya yung data ang kailangan niya. Kahit wala siya, without her actual presence. So, kahit wala si teacher, makukuha niya yung data ang kailangan niya. Lalo na tinatanong ilan ng siblings, ano yung modality na ginagamit mo, o anong available na devices sa bahay nyo. So, nakukuha namin yung data kahit wala kami through survey, gamit yung Google Form. So, that is an example of indirect method. Now, Let us identify the method used in gathering data. So, write direct or indirect. So, tell me if it's direct method or indirect method. So, dito, without the actual presence, dito, you must be present. So, the researcher sets a particular time and date to talk. So, dito pa lang to talk with the respondent. So, this is direct. The researcher retrieves journals in the library. So, you are not actually talking to your respondent. So ibig sabihin this is indirect. The researcher sends survey forms to his respondent. So nag-send lang siya ng survey. That this is indirect. The researcher measures the actual heights of his respondents. So kinuha niya mismo yung measure ng actual height po ng kanyang respondents as her or his variable. So para magamit niya as variable. So siya mismo. So that is direct. And the researcher checks the school records for the average grade of his respondents. This is indirect. Let's have the classification of data. So, ito rin yung tinatawag na qualitative data and quantitative data. So, we have two classifications of data. Okay? So, ano bang klaseng data ang nakukuha natin? So, pag sinabi natin qualitative data, ito yung may category or classifications or attributes. So, halimbawa po, gender, marital status, grade level, senior height rank, strand. So, ito yung mga hindi nabibilang. Okay? So, gender. Ano yung gender? So, by category po ito. So, pag sinabing qualitative data, ito yung mga data na by category or classification or attributes. Pag sinabi naman nating quantitative data, from the word quantity means bilang. Okay? So, these are numbers or values that represent counts or measures. Okay? So, these are numbers or values that represent counts or measures. Now, example, we have the weight, the number of siblings, hours spent in studying. So, these are all examples of quantitative data na kung saan we are getting the number or values na pwedeng bilangin at pwedeng i-measure. Now, we have two types of quantitative data, the discrete data and the continuous data. So, ano po? Okay, so we have two types, the discrete data and the continuous data. So, ano pong pinagkaiba nito? Pag sinabi natin discrete data, ito yung whole number, exact. Okay, so halimbawa po, number of siblings. Lahat ng may number. So, number of siblings. Pag sinabi nating number of siblings, ilan ang kapatid mo? 5. Wala naman tayong, yung isasagot natin ay 5.5. Wala naman tayong kapatid na kalahati. 'Di ba? So, that is discrete data. Another example, number of days in a week. So, and then another is your age. So, yun po yung mga discrete data. Whole number po siya, nabibilang. Okay? While continuous data, ito naman yung name-measure. So, yung dito sa counts, discrete data yon. Dito naman sa measures, yun po yung continuous data. Ito naman yung can be measured. So, ano po yon? The weight, yung hours spent in studying, your height, yun po yung distance, yun po yung mga continuous data. Now, from this qualitative data and quantitative data, we can also classify our data through the levels of measurement. So, from our qualitative and quantitative data, meron pa po tayong levels of measurement na pwede rin natin silang i-classify using this. So, these 4 levels of measurements will help you determine what practical or sensible processes to employ in analyzing your data. So, ano po yun? So, we have 4. We have the nominal, the ordinal, the interval, and the ratio. So, ano po bang pinagkaiba nitong 4? So, pag sinabi nating nominal, these are the data that are categorical. So, nakakategorize siya. Halimbawa, gender, nationality, civil status. So, gender, ano lang po yan. So, by category, ang saan kakabilang? Female, male, nationality, ano po yan? Filipino, civil status, single, married, widowed, separated, 'di ba? Meron pong ganun. So, yun po yung tinatawag nating nominal. Okay? By category. Now, pag sinabi naman nating ordinal, this is by order or ranking. So, data that are in ordered or ranked categories. So, ito yung mga category na kung saan meron siyang order or ranking. Kasi kagaya nito, hindi naman natin nirarank ang female at male. Ganon din po sa nationality at civil status. Now, pagdating dito, ito naman yung mga category na rank or na-order. So, halimbawa po, yung rating, so good, better, best. Yung ranking, first, second, third. So, anong mga example nito? Academic Excellence Award, yung highest educational attainment, yung grade level, 'di ba? So kung grade 7 ka na, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. So ito yung mga category na may order o may rank. So grade 7 ka na ba? Grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. Academic excellence, meron tayong with honors, with high, and with highest. So yun yung may mga ranking. Okay? So yun po are all examples of ordinal levels of measurement. And then we also have the interval. Ano naman ito? These are data that have no real zero. So, pag sinabi nating no real zero, ano po ba yun? So, like for example, temperature, because having 0 degrees does not mean no temperature. Ito yung kapag ang nakuha mo ay 0, hindi ibig sabihin na wala siyang value. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating interval, ito yung kahit 0 po siya, meron po siyang value. So, kaya nga no real zero. Kasi lahat ng 0 na makukuha mo dito ay may value po, may ibig sabihin. Okay? So, halimbawa, body temperature. And then, yung weather temperature. So, yung 0 degrees, meron din po yun. Okay? Hindi ibig sabihin na no temperature. And this one is the opposite of interval. So, data that have real zero naman ito. So, dito naman, pag sinabing 0, as in 0 yon, walang value. Okay? So, halimbawa, weight. Okay? So, yung weight, because 0 kilograms means no weight at all. So, minsan kapag sobrang gaan, as in hangin lang siya, so that is 0 kilograms. So, that is 0. That is real 0. Now, no weight at all talaga yon. Unlike this one, na pag sinabing 0, meron po yon. Hindi po ibig sabihin na 0, walang temperature. So, we have the nominal by category. The ordinal, ito rin by category, yun nga lang may order and ranking. Interval, data that have no real zero. Ratio, the data that have real zero. And then we also have this one. Identify the classification of data. So, write quali if it's a qualitative and quanti if it's a quantitative. So, qualitative if it can be counted and measured. And I mean this one, quantitative, okay? Kung pwede siyang bilangin at pwede siyang, it can be measured, while qualitative, by category po siya. So, halimbawa, glasses of water you can consume every day. So, di ba meron nga tayong tinatawag na drink 8 glasses of water a day. So, at least, di ba? So, bilang ito. Ibig sabihin, we are talking about number. So, this is quantitative data. And then, number of loyal customers in a store. So, again, number. So, this is quanti. And then, conditioner brands. So, meron ba tayong bilang dito? This is a category. Okay? So, this is quali. Mode of transportation. So, this is again, a qualitative data. Hours spent in browsing the internet. So, meron tayong number dito. It can be measured. So, we have quantitative data. Next, identify the levels of measurement of data in each item. So, levels of measurement if it's nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. So, religion. So, this is by category. So, this is nominal. Years in service of a policeman. So, years in service of a policeman. So, ibig sabihin dito, pag nag-0 ka, yung 0 ba, ibig sabihin, hindi siya nag-serve? Kumbaga, ibig sabihin, wala talaga siyang years in service. This is a ratio. Kasi pag 0 ang years in service, ibig sabihin, hindi talaga siya nag-serve. Okay? So, that is ratio. Meron siyang real 0. And then, academic awards. So, pag sinabing academic awards, may ranking yan. So, ano po yun? This is ordinal. And then, intelligence quotient. So, ito po ay sinusukat. So, meron tayong mga test dyan na kapag nag-0 ka dyan, hindi ibig sabihin, wala ka pong yung rating mo ay 0. Hindi po ganon. So, yung 0 po nun, meron pa rin po yung meaning, okay? Or result, o ibig sabihin, or interpretation. So, this is interval. So, yung 0 dito ay meron pong meaning or interpretation. Unlike this one, pag sinabing 0 years in service, as in di ka nag-serve. And then, colors of core. So, this is by category. So, this is nominal. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated kayo for more video tutorials. This is your guide in learning your math lessons, your Wow Math channel.